Alright guys, Delzinski here, and today I'm back with another WWE DVD and Blu-ray review. This time we're looking at the title Ultimate Warrior, Always Believe, and I have been very much looking forward to watching this one because I'm a huge Ultimate Warrior fan, and I was very upset at his passing after the Hall of Fame ceremony. It was just a shocking moment, but this title really is a huge eye-opener on that weekend, and I'm going to talk about that in detail shortly. Now, this title is available on DVD and Blu-ray, and you can pick this one up now. So if you do like the sound of my review, and I think you will, because I think for any wrestling fan, this is the sort of title you really want to pick up. But you can head over to www.dvd.co.uk. This is your best source for all WWE DVD and Blu-ray content. And you can check this one out right there if you like the sound of this title. Now, Ultimate Warrior, Always Believe. I was given the Blu-ray to review, and I'm going to say straight away, this is a real emotional roller coaster. This one is, this pulls on the heartstrings a hell of a lot, because obviously we all know the situation with the Ultimate Warrior, that after he was brought back after an 18-year hiatus, out of the spotlight, away from the WWE, away from wrestling for 18 years. He made his return to the WWE last year at the Hall of Fame thanks to Triple H. I mean, it was a shock to find out that the Warrior was going to be inducted, because we all knew the Warrior deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, but we also all knew the issues that Warrior had with the WWE. And kind of when we saw Hogan return, I thought we just kind of thought, that's never going to happen. But somehow, credit to Triple H, he managed to bring back the Warrior, and this title covers that entire weekend. And we follow the Warrior, and we feel the emotions of the Warrior as he pretty much, I'd say, sheds every single issue that he had with the WWE. And you really see that stress being released bit by bit over this WrestleMania weekend. Now, unfortunately, after this weekend, he did a promo on Monday Night Raw. It was an amazing promo. It was fantastic to see the Warrior back in a WWE ring, and then sadly he passed away. And this title also covers the emotions and feelings of the superstars when they found out this happened, particularly Triple H and Vince McMahon. And you don't often hear from the chairman of the WWE these days. You don't often hear from Vince McMahon that much anymore, but this title you do, and I think you get to see the real Vince, not the on-screen character Vince. You get to understand how Vince felt about the Warrior. And he says, I think the best way to sum it up is, he says, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And that's the way that he feels. And I think that relates to the 18 years of issues that they had where, the Warrior and Vince pretty much played hardball over that time. I mean, there was legal implications as well. There was lawsuits going on. It was a real messy affair between the two. But on this WrestleMania weekend, with the Hall of Fame, they buried the hatchet and they drew a line under all of the issues they had. And it was amazing to see the actual face-to-face interactions with Warrior and Vince, Warrior and Hogan, because you never thought these things would happen. You thought the bad blood was so bad, these things would never, ever happen. Now, with the Warrior's sad passing, this title spends a lot of time with Dana Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior's wife, and Dana Warrior and her daughters. And, I mean, that's where it gets pretty emotional. I've got to admit, I did shed a tear or two over this one. I don't think you can't. I mean, just watching and seeing how this affected the whole wrestling industry, but particularly the family, it's quite emotional. And I think that what the WWE have done for Dana Warrior and the Ultimate Warrior's family is fantastic, because that sort of thing doesn't get covered a lot in the media these days. They don't give a lot of coverage to what the WWE does, which is good. It's always focused on, bad storylines and, concussions. But what the WWE did, Triple H particularly, and Stephanie McMahon, how they've managed to support the Warrior's family since his passing has been truly amazing. Natalia has played a massive part. She's reached out to the family. She's actually helping train one of the Warrior's daughters to become a diva one day. And they are really invested with the company, and the company is invested with them to help support them through this period of time. And I think that's going to be a relationship that goes on forever. And it's amazing to see. And the WWE deserve huge credit for this. And when you watch this title, you appreciate what the WWE have done. And I think, yeah, the 18 years with the lawsuits and the issues, but they tried to make things right. And I think they did. And I think the Warrior appreciated that. One thing that you notice in this title is all the way through this Hall of Fame weekend, the Warrior has a beaming smile on his face. And that's something, I mean, you don't really think of that with the Warrior over those 18 years, because it's kind of associated with the bitterness that he had towards Hulk Hogan, towards Vince McMahon, and with good reason. I mean, you know, the DVD that they released about the Warrior, the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, where they pretty much destroyed the character of the Ultimate Warrior. They belittled him. Like, you had people on that title saying that he couldn't cut promos. You know, he wasn't a great wrestler. But the persona that the Warrior was bigger than all of that. I mean, it's on par with Hulkamania. So he must have been doing something right. And I think that the Warrior is an icon of the industry. And through this title, you hear from guys like Sting. It's good to see Sting on this title because he was very close friends with the Warrior. And he talks about him being on the road with the Warrior at the beginning of his career. And as I said, you get to hear from Vince McMahon, Triple H, Hulk Hogan, and even some current day WWE superstars on how watching the Warrior really inspired them to become wrestlers. Now, as I say, this is a massively emotional title. Because the Warrior is so iconic and because of that weekend. And I have to say, when you think back on that weekend, I don't think you could imagine that the passing would happen at that point. And it was almost like the speech that he made on Monday Night Raw almost was kind of predicting what was to come, because he was talking about, you know, when he was gone, the power would live on. And it was just such a bizarre moment. It was a shocking moment. But yeah, it's a title that if you purchase it and you watch it, you'll be enthralled from beginning to end. And you, as I say, it's emotional. It's a tearjerker, and it should be. But you do appreciate what the WWE did on that Hall of Fame weekend to make sure things were right for the Warrior. And it's a shame that unfortunately he's not still here, because it sounded like that the WWE and the Ultimate Warrior had huge plans, merchandise, new DVDs, and he was going to play a pivotal part of being a part of the WWE, it seemed, moving forward. So, I mean, you get to see so much footage of that weekend. The actual face-to-faces with guys like Hogan are just so intriguing, because these are things that you've wanted to see for a long time. You've wanted to see Warrior talk to Hogan man to man, not gimmick to gimmick. And you see that. There's conversations with Scott Hall, and we all know that Warrior over the years had issues with Kevin Nash, but you actually hear Scott Hall say to him at that Hall of Fame ceremony, you know, I love you, brother. So it's like, it's a massive family affair, and I don't know. I don't think words can really put into it how good this title is. WWE have done a fantastic job to put together this. And just so you guys are aware, because many of you will go, oh, they're making money out of the Ultimate Warrior's passing. That's not true. Because it is actually Dana Warrior who supported this title. She's involved in this title. She wanted the Warrior's legacy to live on. And he will do so with titles like this, because you understand the man much better than what the WWE did in the past with that character destruction which they produced previously. And they will never, ever do that again. And you can tell by this title. Yeah, I have, you know, a huge respect for his family. They seem to be working as hard as they can to get through it all. And the WWE are supporting them every step of the way. Now, this title in addition to the documentary, because the documentary is fantastic, there is some Blu-ray exclusives, and this is a multitude of matches from the Ultimate Warrior's career. So, you know, in addition to that, you get to get some nostalgia and watch some of the Ultimate Warrior's old matches. And I'll list them as well in the description box below. And as well, you get to see some of those classic Warrior promos. So I'll list those details in the description box, but mainly this title is all about that Hall of Fame weekend, the documentary, and the Warrior talking about it. There's sit-down interviews with the Warrior as well, so you know you're finding out his emotions and feelings every single step of the way. So guys, this one is one definitely to grab hold of as a piece of history to remember and keep the Warrior spirit going on. And I would definitely say it's worth a watch. So, I mean, yeah. All that's left to be said is please rate, comment, and subscribe. And always believe in the Ultimate Warrior. This is Delzinski, signing out.
Hey, this is Olympic hero Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist, 14-time world heavyweight champion. And if you're a wrestling gamer, I want you to go to Delzinski.com, DELZINSKI.com, because it's the best place for wrestling and gaming content.